Hey guys, this is Those Guys with your host, Matt Marrero, along with
Tristan Walter.
Who's very confused about that choice of music tonight, aren't you?
Well, now that you pointed it out to everyone, yes, I was.
Well, I thought about it, and I thought, what was the most Broly song I could come up with? And I thought about Haruhi's opening theme from the Melancholy of Haruhi Suzumiya. Obviously, right? I mean, that's just pretty damn obvious, I would imagine.
Totally. Guys,
I hired you.
What are you talking about?
I can fire you just as easily. I'm giving him $0. I can give him less. Everyone. But anyway,
you could give me respect.
I do? I mean, that's nice to know.
Never mind.
I love you. So anyway, hello everyone. Today we're doing Broly, the legendary super duper duper Saiyan. Or in Japan as it's known as Dragon Ball Z, Burn Up, a close fight, a violent fight, a super fierce fight. That's actually the name of it.
Or the English title, Dragon Ball Z, All Aboard the Rape Train.
Basically, rape is not a joke, but Broly would find it funny. That sick fuck.
Yeah.
Seriously, I mean, dear God, that guy is just. I mean, we'll talk about it as we go through, tonight. But dear God, that man, it's just and it sucks too because you want to say he's truly evil, but then just like many Naruto villains, he has such a tragic backstory that you're like, damn it.
What do you expect from a true freak, Matt?
Actually, I'm so happy you brought that up. That's not the original line, and it's kind of funny how the line is the exact opposite. Did you know that?
I believe so, yes. I know I've watched it in Japanese.
Well, no, because here's the
Japanese
usually I don't
before.
complain. Yeah, usually I don't complain. It was just very interesting because I thought, oh, hey, I don't remember that line being that way, right? And I check it out, and it's just like, in the English version, it's like, what do you expect from a true freak? But when you actually switch the dialogue over, Piccolo calls him a freak, and Broly, which is really cool because it's like Broly's just like, I am a freak? Not so. I am a devil. And you sit there, and you're like, dude, like, all right, like, I'll believe you, Broly.
Piccolo.
And what's funny is that I forgot which game specifically, but I'm going to say Budokai Tenkaichi, just because I'm pointing at, at things. In the games, they actually have him say he's a devil. It's just very interesting.
Yeah. I believe he does.
It's very interesting because they have the opportunity to do things like that in the game, but in the show or in the original dubs of like movies and things like that, they kind of try to shy away from it.
Yep.
It's just very interesting. Where it's just when they get a little bit more leeway, they'll actually have it done. But at first, it's like, how about let's do this, okay? Thinking like
I can vaporize people and planets, but I can't call myself a devil. That's a no-no.
Exactly, right? Like just killing the home planet to a bunch of people that are still actually alive. That's fine, right?
That's
the devil
fine.
thing is like,
yeah.
Whoa, man, I don't know about that, dude. Yeah. But speaking of devils, this movie will be dubbed over by 4 kids. Now, what if, right?
Oh, dear God.
Slowly dubbed over by 4 kids. Just immediately, I'm only fighting you because of this tournament that we're having that no one knows about because it's secret. Broly, we would never be enemies, of course. Every impact shot is whited out.
Yeah. He's
so
like,
anyway,
I just want to give you a hug, Kakarot.
Yeah, exactly. That's why he wasn't,
crushing his spine.
Exactly, pretty much. It was just like he was really upset because like Goku kept on like getting out of the way. He was trying to play like horsey. It was just piggyback ride. That's all it was. But anyway, so this movie came out.
Just giving his head a hug.
Trying to get back on somewhat of a track. Not even somewhat of a track. This movie came out in 1993, right? Which is kind of crazy because now we're getting into we talked about this these past few episodes. Now we're getting into the time span of us actually being born. right? So we're not too young, but we're still really young. Where the movie came out, I was about a year old. You know?
Yep.
So it's crazy, where it's just, even if magically these movies were coming out relatively, as close to their Japanese release points, didn't matter. Like we were really, and then we got it in America in 2003.
Yep.
Which again, it's like 10-year gap. Stop complaining, children. Like I'm sure we said this before, but I really want to harp on it, because I always do. People are trying to say, damn, I can't believe, the newest DBZ movie came out last year. Funimation is so late. Just want to slap them in the face.
Yeah.
It took 10 years at one point, guys. We're doing pretty good right now. We're doing pretty good. But
yeah, I mean, shit, I was excited to hear it came out, so quickly. I'm like, holy crap, it's already here?
Exactly. Like, honestly, I don't want to say I wasn't expecting the new one, but I wasn't expecting the new one. Because I didn't know who they were. I mean, I knew it was going to come out eventually, but the fact that it's been only, a year-ish is really good. But anyway, jumping to voice actors, because, we brought up the dub and things like that, I want to mention that Broly, if you don't know, was actually dubbed over by Vic Mignogna. And Vic Mignogna, if you don't know, right, because, maybe people don't know, that Edward guy from Fullmetal Alchemist, and that redheaded Maka's dad fellow, I don't watch Soul Eater, but from Soul Eater, and many others. If you've played a video game recently, Vic Mignogna's probably in it.
Probably,
Yeah. Were you not aware that Vic Mignogna did Broly?
No, I definitely knew that.
Oh, okay.
I was going to even say that he might have even given Sean Chamel a run for, damaged vocal cords until,
Oh, yes, of course. Yes, what's funny is, if some people don't know, the damaged vocal cords thing, you're referring to the Super Saiyan 3 thing in the booth, right? Because I remember there was a scene that I think Sean Schemmel did when he first turned Super Saiyan 3. Yeah. And what's great about it was when he first turned Super Saiyan 3, he didn't do something right with his vocal cords. I think he let out too much air and didn't let too much in, and because of it, he actually passed out in the booth.
Yep.
Yeah. It's just damn, DBZ, it could kill you. You don't even have to be involved in the world. If you're a voice actor, it could kill you.
It's like, he's halfway through the scream already, and it's just like, no, I can't do this in another take. I just have to go through the pain.
I wouldn't be surprised if they did that. I wouldn't be surprised if 3 screams are just one scream is 3 screams cut up. Would not be surprised.
Yeah.
Also, something interesting, something you may not have known. Paragus was actually done by, the voice actor was Damian Clark. And what's major about that is, first off, he left for Hollywood, and it worked. He'd actually done a lot of cool things. You may have seen him in some actual, live-action TV roles. But before that, he's important because he was Cell, Tambourine, he was Future Gohan, and, of course, jumping back to Paragus. In Fullmetal Alchemist, in the original one, he was Scar. And then in Yu Yu Hakusho, he was younger Toguro.
Right,
so very interesting. Yes. And it's funny because I knew that, Cell was Scar and younger Toguro. But for some reason, I did not know. First off, I didn't know about Future Gohan.
Yeah,
and I also didn't realize that. Yeah, and I didn't realize that it tied into Paragus for some reason because he's such a good actor. And for the actual, for TV shows, he's been Alan Tanner on 24. He's been, Scott Dunn on Castle. He's been on all the CSIs. Wow. CSI Criminal Scene Investigation, CSI Miami, CSI New York. And CIS, and CIS Los Angeles. God, Prison Break, just everything. God,
CIS, Planet Vegeta.
Yeah, exactly. It's just, he's really good, damn it. And, of course, he's in a lot of video games. So, yeah, point being, he's good at his job. I wish he would have stayed with Dragon Ball, with Funimation and Dragon Ball Z and Fullmetal Alchemist and stuff. But, I mean, hey, even in Japan, they'll replace voice actors every once in a while.
Yeah.
It just sucks because in Japan, it usually, a voice actor will stay with the role until death. So that's kind of what's upsetting. Which is, it sucks that, in America they get really, it kind of just feels like people move on to, better things. Where in Japan it's just, you're stuck there. You're happy. That's your character.
Right.
Yeah, like we've seen some changes in Japan, but I'm fairly certain that like we look at Hercule's voice being changed in the Japanese version of Kai, and that's because sadly his voice actor, the same person who was the voice actor for Heihachi actually in the Tekken series, passed away. So that's what I'm saying. Like, that's what it has to take for people to think, yeah, he's not doing that anymore, is he? But anyway. By the way, if you want to call in and talk about this movie with us, please do. The number is 718-664-9468. Again, the number is 718-664-9468. But moving forward, first off, is this your favorite movie? Just wondering.
For me, no, this isn't my favorite. It's funny, it's kind of a toss-up. I guess if you want to go with specific movies, mine was definitely, Cooler's Revenge.
Right. I thought so, but I wanted to know if it kind of went in the top 5 or something, because I feel like this may be my favorite movie.
Really?
Which is straight, yeah, because there's something about, and it's funny because it doesn't have my favorite soundtrack, although I will, for the English, dub, but I will admit the English dub soundtrack does really grow on you. But for me now I love it, but as a kid I didn't so much. And it's funny, I saw the movie in Japanese first, because I think I've mentioned before how I ended up getting some, fan sub the VCDs when I was a bit younger. So I ended up acquiring those, seeing this movie before it came out in America, only like maybe 2 years before, though, but before it came out in America. And, it was just very interesting, and it was a good film. I liked it. But, I don't know, something about it. I think it's just the viciousness of Broly really got me interested as a kid, because, and then also the fact that he had such a terrible backstory, I think, because I want to say, like, let's look at some, like, not to look at everyone, but for most of these villains in these movies, we don't really get a backstory, and when we do, they're just jerks, Like, you look at Cooler, and you don't go, man, that poor guy. You think, this race sucks. Garlic Jr., you think, oh, this guy is pretty, like, Broly's evil, but in theory, even though we don't know, but from looking at all the facts, there's a slight chance that if he wasn't assassinated or attempted to be, assassinated at birth, he could have become something good.
Yeah, that's true.
Because for some reason, I don't know why, when I was younger, I just thought, oh, he has mental problems. It's like, no. He could have been good. There's a slight chance that something good have come from that. It's just that, King Vegeta just thought, no, he'll usurp my throne. Where it's just, honestly, like,
Even so, they are, okay, let's say, King Vegeta didn't say, oh, he's going to be a threat, let's kill him now. Maybe, oh, okay, no, he'll be a great Saiyan warrior. Let's send him off to another planet. He'd still probably commit, mass genocide, like every other Saiyan baby.
I know, like, it's just, I don't know, I feel as if, like, it's just the thing is, like, you look at the way the Saiyans were at the time, and they were, very violent and stuff, but I don't think he would have went, like, the way he was by the time the movie came around, he was just completely fucked up. There was no way of redeeming him because, he was ready to kill his dad at a moment's notice because of how he felt with, with the Saiyans and everything. And then finally his dad started to try to control him, but even at a point, that didn't even work. There was no saving this guy. He was going to go. So that's just, but again, like, I don't know, I feel as if, like, if there was, like, you see how Goku kind of ended up going off planet, and he hit his head, but still, he went off planet. I feel as if Broly went off planet, and then the planet was destroyed, and it was him and his dad or something, or just him, there's always a chance. Like, and he might have been, like, a killer, but look, Vegeta was a killer, he had the chance of being saved, or at least somewhat changed-ish, kind of.
I guess.
But,
well,
yeah.
I just feel like, I don't know, I just feel like Broly was kind of, I don't know, I feel like he was just always kind of going to be like that once, his full power came out. I felt like that was, you don't develop that. That was there. It just,
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I mean,
hadn't come out completely yet. I know what you mean, though. I do understand. Yeah, I mean.
I agree. I mean, there's always a chance, but I feel like it's just something like this that's traumatic. He never had that chance.
No. Right.
Yeah.
He never had that chance. Exactly.
Yeah. Yeah. But hey, at least Goku's favorite hobbies are reading and sports.
Yeah, it's funny. I wanted to say this is probably the one time I would be on Chi-Chi's side.
Yeah.
Because it was kind of like, you had one job, Goku. You had one job.
Yeah,
I mean,
not like
yes, granted, he had to go
anything.
save the universe, but still.
Yeah. No, yeah, he had a very important job, and he failed. Because, again, it's not like, all jokes aside, it's not like driving school. Gohan needs to get into a good college or a good school, and all he had to do is just say that and go, excuse me, I need to use the restroom. Nope, just in the middle of everything. Just making the people go, is your husband a magician? Your husband is completely confused.
I mean, he did apologize before he, blinked out of existence, out of the room, but...
I just love how, what I think is really funny? How I have a strange feeling that with everything that was going on, like, Chi-Chi was trying to explain to him, like, okay, here's how you should speak, here's how you should act, but something in her head, with, the whole common sense factor, something in her head made her think, should I, I don't need to tell him not to do that. Like, that's the thing, I assume that he didn't go against her wishes in the sense that he didn't think there was anything wrong with that.
No.
Like, he just sits there, he's like, yeah, I mean, it's in transmission, what's weird about that? Chi-Chi's like, if you had told me before, I would have had an extremely long-winded answer. But sadly, no. I did not know you were going to do that, and here we are. And then you have Goku, just my hom, he's like, but I don't even own a book, which was great, by the way. As she's trying to be like, yeah, reading and sports are what you like. I don't even own books. What is a book? Do you eat books? Is that what an e-book is? Goku, shut up. Also, by the way, I know we haven't really, now we're going back in kind of like an order for the movie, but I have to be honest with you. I have to say, Krillin is an amazing singer, and I would also like to add that auto-tune is a great thing.
I almost wish that Vegeta had killed him.
He looked like he was going to. Vegeta looked
I know.
like
I was actually going to be okay with that.
Vegeta, the man who has seen, atrocities, who has committed atrocities, who has probably done, God, I can't even consider the amount of genocide he's committed, right? The amount of just places he's just destroyed. And Krillin singing made him cringe.
Yeah.
Let's all think about that just for a second. Genocide versus Krillin singing. I'm glad that we've discussed that genocide is not as bad compared to his singing.
Well,
also, Goku. Goku does a lot of things. Goku does a lot of things that that aren't that are kind of cool, like the instant transmission thing and the flying thing. But I want to know how he took off clothes, his clothes so fast. Goku, I want to learn from you. How do you just jump out of clothes like that? Because Goku, I'm sorry to say this, that's a skill that I need.
I just feel like he put the suit on over his gi.
But even if he did, though, there's no way to take it off that quickly. You saw how the suit was on his gi.
Yeah,
that was extremely quick, I got to be honest with you. And again, Goku, teach me your technique. That's all I need to know. I need a gi with Goku's symbol on the back, and it's just like, what's that? And it's just like I take off my clothes quickly. Goku, what are you doing? Goku taught me. That's
Goku teach me on your
that's a strange skill. That's just how I feel about taking off my clothes. We should really get off this topic. Speaking of Paragus, did you know that Paragus comes from asparagus?
God damn it.
You didn't know? Really?
I don't.
Did you know that
I feel like I did.
broccoli?
I hadn't heard anyone actually say it out loud.
Broly comes from broccoli.
Yeah,
And vegetable.
Raditz comes from
and then Vegeta,
carrots.
Comes from vegetable. No, it's funny how like all the Saiyans have like pretty much all the Saiyans have like something like that, and so it's kind of funny how it's like you can obviously Toriyama didn't write this movie, but like little things here and there that they're trying to keep up with, like Paragus
and
asparagus and stuff.
Nappa.
I feel like Nappa has to do with something that we're not thinking of.
Yeah, probably.
But I can't. Oh, actually, sorry, I was gonna say, but I can't think of it right now. No shit, Matt. You just said you can't think of it. But, something.
I mean,
I don't know what
it
exactly.
Might very well be something in Japanese, too.
That, too, yeah. Where, like, Gohan is, like, either rice or lunch, or, like, that kind of mix.
Yes.
Gohan sounds better than rice or lunch.
Yeah.
So they just left it. Same thing with Kami, sounding better than God.
Yep.
Like, I still think back to that this day. Like, imagine if, like, on TV, someone's just surfing channels, we should talk to God. What?
What?
Like imagine that show. We should talk to God. I'm sorry.
Like, yeah. Out of all the ones that they changed, I felt like that one was okay because technically they basically kept it the same anyway.
That one was just fine. Yeah, but also
it's like that one would have caused.
I have a question. For you. How did you get to see this movie?
How did I get to see this movie? I believe
like the first time.
I saw it. Yeah, I think I saw it with a friend on DVD.
Okay, so like you didn't know anything going into it, right?
No, pretty much no. It was just the legendary Super Saiyan. Hey, there's an evil Super Saiyan.
Here.
And I was like, what?
Yeah, pretty much. All right, same here. No, because like because I'm wondering, like, when you see things like trailers or whatever, I don't know, like it feels as if like you kind of become, spoiled for everything. So I felt like, I didn't really have anything like, nothing felt, like, I wasn't spoiled going into this. But it still felt weird because, like, I'm looking at Paragus, and it's very interesting how, like, the second he comes on the screen, you're like, that's the bad guy.
Yeah.
Prince Vegeta, I'm making a new planet in your honor. This is the bad guy. The Scar. He's not good. Like, it's really funny how blatant it is regardless. Like, you really get spoiled. And even if you're not, just blatant. It's like, and then I have a son. That's the guy on the cover. Like, that's the guy on the DVD cover. It's like, no, like, this is just, my son, Broly. You mean Broly, the legendary Super Saiyan?
No, I didn't say that. Who said that?
Like, cover, man. Like, it's really funny how, like, the Japanese version, they have Broly's face on it, but if you notice the pictures that are going through the stream, it's like a side profile, kind of, the original DVD cover. It's a side profile, and even then it's not called, we said long, complicated name. In no way does it say that Broly is a legendary Super Saiyan, right? So it's just really funny how it's just like, you guys don't, what? Yeah. So, hey, but something else that might make your head hurt. What if hammers to the head actually cured hangovers? Would you try it?
Well, I've never been hungover personally, so.
Well, if you had to be hungover, and you've heard how being hungover is like, would you take a hammer to the head? You would?
Depending on the hammer, maybe, yeah.
Fair enough. Also, so by the way, we're introduced to this in this movie. We're introduced to little tiny Namekian-looking creatures who are now slaves, right? And I want to put it out there that the second I saw Goku eating at the table, accepting Paragus' offer, I just sat there and winced. Not winced, but I squinted, and I was like, guys, are we cool with slavery now? Like, is that like are we? Because we kind of didn't like it when Metacooler did that.
Well, Gohan and Trunks and Krillin were trying to, free them, basically.
It is true. No, that is true. But it just felt very interesting how, like, even after I saw them, I was like, oh, good, they're talking to, like, the little things. It still felt very awkward with Goku just like, I mean, yeah, I'm freaking hungry. Goku, is there something you need to tell us?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like I'm not cool with enslaving green people. Some of my best friends are Namekians. Like Goku.
Yeah, just Piccolo just looks over at him like, I'm gonna pretend you didn't let that one slip.
Yeah, like just dude, not really my fight. I mean, just no, it's really funny how it's just like, come on, I mean, we saved the entire planet of green people. Like, can't I just get a pass?
Like, how many more green people do I have to save?
What? Yeah, right? Like, they're not even the same types of green people. Goku's like, look, all right, look, I know I saved some Namekians. All of a sudden, Piccolo's like, whoa, that's our word. I'm not saying. But seriously though, yeah, just slavery felt awkward for a bit there. I was like, they're enslaved, Goku. They're not working. They're not. Goku's like, but they're getting food. They must love this job. No, Goku, no.
No, they're not being fed. Gohan, Trunks,
they
and
are,
Krillin actually
but
bring them
very
food
well.
after.
They're being fed.
Yeah.
But not very well, which is funny. Where it's like Goku's like, but they're getting some food. Goku, no, stop it.
Just stop. Just Gohan just goes up to him, Dad, just stop.
Yeah. Just Goku feels sad. I'm like, okay, I'm gonna go eat. Which is really funny. I love how they didn't try to put anything in his food or anything like that. I love how they're just like, yeah, just feed him, whatever.
Yeah, well, that was, Paragus' whole plan. It's like, oh, well, just let the comet blow them up, I'm sure that'll work. So I don't have to try and poison them or have Broly kill them right off the bat.
No, what's funny is that I wonder what he thought was going to happen, because he said, oh, yeah, I'm traveling with Broly, but then his ship only carried one, right?
Yeah.
And then also the fact that it's like what did he actually expect to happen? Like, you know what I mean? Like, I feel like he wanted to leave Broly there and be like, well, now I don't have to look after you anymore. Pretty much. Which is funny, because honestly, that planet would not have killed him.
Yeah, exactly. I don't think it would have even killed, Goku and Vegeta, for God's sake.
No, I think the lack of air would have killed them.
Well, yeah, I guess.
No, that's the thing. Like, that's the thing. That's what'll kill. It's funny. That's what'll kill any of them. Other than Bardock, for some reason.
It's funny about that, because Goku uses instant transmission, and you see him basically going through hyperspace, I guess you could call it. It's like, did you see the Enterprise on your way over? And he instant transmissions to a planet in the South Galaxy.
Who was going through hyperspace.
Yeah.
This Japanese man who asked us if we had a food. Like, just imagine that. He just accidentally gets beamed up to the starship.
Yeah.
But anyway, but seriously though, all jokes aside,
Goku was fine with that. I mean, I don't know if that technically designates breathing in space, but
that's just filler. That's your filler talking, because when he, instant transmission, there's no super speed to it. It's just
I know.
That's the thing. Like, people don't like. It's been so long for some people that they're just like, yeah, it's moving really fast, and it's like, no, listener, if you think Goku is moving really fast, that's the exact opposite of what he's doing. That's what they thought he was doing. They were like, oh, how did you get to, I think it was on Earth. They were like, oh, he got to Master Roshi so fast. And it was like, no, actually, he's literally there, not there, elsewhere. He just appeared there, out of nowhere, basically.
Yeah.
Which is some crazy sci-fi shit, by the way. But, that's basically what it's just funny, because, some people might think that, that's why I said, you're filler a bit. Where
I know.
Sometimes can be really good. Sometimes the movies are really good.
It weird why they did that.
That's what I'm saying. It's just to fill up time. I mean, you're going to see some movies that's going to, like we mentioned in the history of Trunks, or rather, I mentioned because you were not in this time period.
Hey, I was fighting androids.
If you want to know where Tristan was, listen to our last few episodes. Also, because DBZ. Right, but anyway, so he, so in History of Trunks, they had a scene where, Trunks literally powered down because he was hit that roughly, and then all of it, he was running through
actually did that with Vegeta in this one too.
Well, yes, exactly. It'll happen a few times.
Same thing. Yeah.
It's really
There was one where it was after he shot Broly with, I guess it was Big Bang Attack, but he just blasted him.
Right.
Like before he got fully enraged and he was walking towards Goku. And, he's like, back off, Kakarot, he's mine, and he blasts him. And then...
Yeah, and what's crazy is that it even happens in, like, later Broly movies. But, like, in that movie you could argue that, maybe, like, Goten or so repowered or something. But, like, like, just powered back up. But it's like, how do you get the energy to just power back up, like, out of nowhere?
Yeah.
It's like, no, we're beaten. That's what happened there.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, it's just, and it's funny because I want to blame it on the time because, the time frame, the time period, the 90s, whatever, because I would argue that I'm assuming at least, like in one of the newer films, like, like in Battle of Gods, which I've yet to see soon, I assume that in a movie like that, you will not be having issues like that, because they just have so much, like, to help them, technology, computers, whatever, to really help them see what they're doing. Rather back then, where it's mostly, I mean, they didn't really have this, what we have now.
Yeah.
Yes.
I mean,
also,
I really,
speaking,
No, go ahead.
What was that?
No, I was going to say, I mean, I didn't even notice it as a kid. I've only just noticed it, like, very recently, like, rewatching them and actually looking closely. And I mean, to be honest, they changed from, normal to Super Saiyan so many times, I just really don't care much. It's just like, oh, he's powered up. No, he's powered down. Oh, he's powered up. Okay, whatever.
Basically, yeah. I mean, I will admit there are a few things that are really cool. Where of course, when people power up together, I think that's an amazing thing. Where they kept that from the last movie. They kept it from the last movie. Where in this movie you see see all three Gohan, Goku, and Trunks powering up, which is a really cool thing.
That was great.
Yeah, I mean that was really freaking cool. But anyway, we brought up Bardock before. Bardock. And speaking of Bardock, I would like to scream out something. Baby penis. We talked about this during the Bardock special, and it came back to say hello, basically. We see, a little tiny, baby Goku and little tiny baby Broly, and we see Japan's just utter lack of care for, child nudity.
Yeah.
Which is just, again, we mentioned before, really funny.
I mean,
when you just think about
it's not sensitive for them. It's just a newborn baby.
Of course, which is really funny because that's all it is. As a society, that's all we should really be thinking. Like, oh, that's all that it is. But then people sexualize things and just say, oh no, but and just use all these crazy things to just basically make it seem as if it's like, oh, well, if we air it on TV, we have to put a black shadow on it. And it's like, why?
Yeah.
It's either, and it's also, I'll be honest, I'm pretty sure it's used for comedic effect as well. Because it's like, because we've never really seen an actual man's genitalia in the show. We've only seen babies.
Right.
Which is why I feel like it's meant to be like more of a gag kind of thing. So it's not really looked at as like, in a sexual kind of way that I feel like America would, where, if you have like a picture of that from your DVD, like people can go nuts on you. And it's like, and then your defense, like, sir, it's uncensored. He has uncensored child. Whoa! No, man, just understand. It's a movie licensed by Funimation. He's saying that it's fun for kids. Whoa! And it sounds crazy, but, it's true. Like, people go nuts when it comes to that kind of thing in, like, a very, angry kind of way here.
And that's when you walk away.
What? And that's when you walk away. Like, walk away as they're putting you in handcuffs. As they're putting you in handcuffs. On charges. It's like, I'm sorry. But seriously. So like I said before, this, it's my favorite movie. This movie has some of my favorite fight scenes. And honestly, I mean, you can see why this movie is a fan favorite. Because there are a lot of people who enjoy this movie.
Yep.
I mean, a large amount of people.
Yeah, it's funny. Like, when I was a kid, I really got into it. But now that I've, watched it again, as I'm older, I mean, don't get me wrong, I still think it's a cool movie, but I'm not as much of a fan as the fights as I thought I was.
I understand. Fair enough.
It's basically a one-sided fight. I mean, not to say that, the Z fighters shouldn't get beaten down, a few times just to keep that suspense and keep the effect of, there are stronger people, but I mean, I feel like they should have gotten in some hits.
Yeah,
like even if Broly just kind of, licked it off a bit, or
yeah. Honestly, I would say, yeah. I mean, I do think they should have gotten some hits in, but I mean, it's just one of those things where it really wants to let you know that listen, Broly is not a guy to be messed with, and it's funny how you can see that in other films, in the next two Broly films as well, where you just really notice that Broly in no way is a guy to be messed with. It's that simple. He cannot be killed.
The oh shit moment should have come in when Vegeta basically fell to his knees and said, we can't fight him, we're all going to die, and became a little bitch for half the movie. But I understand, it was for the effect, and it probably wouldn't have had as much effect if, Vegeta hadn't done that. But honestly, at the same time, I feel like it still did have the same effect, because when Goku ran up to him and did a Kamehameha at basically point-blank range, which blew Cell in half. I mean, not, Goku was stronger then, but still. Kamehameha wave, point-blank range, and it did absolutely nothing. That was when I shat my pants.
Yeah, Broly is just that good.
Myself.
Broly's just, I mean, that's the thing. Like, I don't know. Like, I feel as if it was, like, wasn't it nice for once to see it that they really just could not beat, like, at least head on. It had to take, like, them putting their energy into Goku and really believing and trusting in him, because they just could not. Like, Goku couldn't even be, like, it was just, I don't know, I felt as if it was kind of a feeling of, well, they won, but dear Goku was really, really, really close.
Yeah. No, like I said, I did like the effect of, this is an unbeatable opponent. But, I don't know. And I mean, I did like the scenes, like, there was another one where Broly basically throws Goku into the ground and he starts basically jumping on him like a fucking trampoline.
Yeah.
And just seeing the cracks going through the ground and hearing Goku scream.
Yeah, it was all in good fun.
Yeah, that was terrifying.
It really was.
Although, I have to say, probably the most terrifying line in that movie for me was they just started fighting him, and Broly basically slams Trunks into a cliff face, and then he looks back at Goku and Gohan and he says, "Kakarot, how much do you love your son?" And Goku just goes, "Fuck, Gohan, get out of the way."
Yeah, no, that's something that that's a line that I also had in my notes as well, because that, like, it's one of those things where it's just, when Broly says something, it's just when Broly says something, you take notice. You don't just like go like, well, whatever. Like, it's great where it's like, yeah, like, do you love your son? Where, like, he's going to kill your son without even thinking.
Yeah.
I mean, damn, like that, like things like that are just nuts,
He's
and also
kill
his
your
transformation
son first, so you can watch.
Yeah, and also his transformation, by the way, his first transformation was just fuck. I mean, how do you blow yourself up from the inside out? How do you do that?
Yeah, like,
I mean,
that was actually a thing that made the ending make more sense to me, because I've actually seen people talk about this. Like, Broly basically had so much energy within his body that he would basically have to get rid of some of it so he didn't, basically overload, which, looking at it now, actually kind of makes a bit of sense. And if you think back to the legend of the Super Saiyan, I believe it was in the Frieza saga, how, his power was just so immense that he basically lost his mind and ended up destroying himself along with everything around him. I feel like if Broly had gotten away and won that fight, it basically would have ended the same way. He would have blew himself up, uncontrollably, after, slaughtering a few other, millions of races, but still.
Yeah, just millions. But I find
Probably
that
would
very
have burnt
interesting.
himself out.
Yeah, I find that very interesting, to think about. Also, I would like to mention, there's a lot of comedy relief segments usually in these movies just to kind of like, make people, be less tense. And it's very interesting how in this movie, Roshi was that comedy relief, person. But it's funny because I love Japanese comedy. I really think it's funny.
Yeah.
But I just think it was very ill-timed. A bit like in Metacooler.
Weird way they threw it in.
Yeah, but I will admit though, it was funny is you think that scene where Roshi's trying to be, big and tough and destroy, Broly, you feel like that's ill-timed. And then all of a sudden, Broly destroys the planet, that those little green people came from, and you think, maybe this is why they did that.
Yeah.
Without that,
probably.
there's a chance that they would have, like they had to give kids something before they destroy their hearts completely.
That's true. I mean, it was funny. I love the fact. What I loved about that joke was the fact that they tried to make it serious at first. Like Roshi wasn't automatically the joke character.
Yeah, like for some reason thought, could he do it?
He just powers up and he's like, I figured you could use my help, and he just powers up to max power, and you're like, oh shit.
Yeah.
Is Roshi gonna do this?
Pretty much, yeah. And then of course we end up having Piccolo. We end up having Piccolo to the rescue, right, to save Gohan.
Yep.
Which is always my favorite part, I think, of any movie. I mean, I love it, and I love that he always has new and fun reasons for appearing.
Yeah.
Yeah, but and then after that, it just it's strange because when I was a kid, right, I sided with Piccolo, when he was yelling at Vegeta, but when I grew up now, right, I just think, listen, Pick, can I call you Pick? Listen, Pick, Vegeta knows what he's talking about, okay? I'm good. Like, it's pretty simple.
Yeah, I'm still on Piccolo's side. I mean, I know the fact,
here's the thing. I'm not saying Vegeta shouldn't fight. Fair enough. But for Vegeta to be like, listen, can I have some time, for me? Right? That's how it is. Which is like, listen, because he's like, he knows what he's talking about. Like, at first, he's
I'm
like,
going to die. Just
fight no matter what. But I don't know. I feel like now, like, he knows what he's talking about. He's gone through a lot of shit.
Yeah,
and he knows
again, I know they put that in for effect, and it was a very good effect. Like, it did make you think, holy crap, Vegeta, the, always half-cocked fucking pistol, is now saying, nope, can't do this. It's basically like, what?
Yeah, exactly. Like, that's how I feel. Where it's just like, yep, but, like, it kind of makes you think, like, all right, so we're all going to die. And it was kind of funny, because for a while, it's like, it's been really hard for movies to actually make you think, like, these characters have a chance of dying. This was one of those movies that was actually really, really, really good at that, I would say.
That's true, yeah.
Yeah, but it's okay, because Vegeta overcomes his fears, or his legitimate fears, and just basically goes, fuck it, yeah! And then what happens? Vegeta gets murdered. So, I mean, honestly, hey, who was right, Vegeta or Piccolo?
Yeah.
Vegeta gets, and then all of a sudden, Broly gets a chance to kill his dad. And it's really funny, because I feel like kids in the audience... No, because here's the thing. Like, I know, like, it's a Japanese kids movie, so obviously they're not really thinking of the kids too much, which is kind of funny. But the kids are just there in the audience, and what do they think? Like, yay, Broly gets to kill the bad guy, who's his dad.
Dad.
Hooray?
Yeah.
Like, how do they feel? Like, yay, he gets to... Oh. And then especially how it happens, where it's like, he's crushing him. He's like, is this a way to die? And it's like,
crushed by your own son who once saved your life.
Yeah, exactly. Because they're like, I don't think I want to see this movie anymore.
Yeah. Well, it was just like, that was so fitting for Paragus. It really was.
Oh, it was. Like, it was such a great death. I mean, especially when he literally says, I die by the son who also saved me.
Yeah. I mean, I know why Paragus, did all this. Like, he did it for revenge against, King Vegeta, who basically murdered him in cold blood. And yeah, I get that. You know, you want to get back at that guy. It's like, well, the planet did explode and he died along with it. But it's like, oh no, I'm going to get revenge against this sun now. Basically had nothing to do with the incident. And
right.
I'm going to use a comet that's coming to a planet for a whole elaborate ruse. And then I'm going to fly off to Earth and take it for my own. Like,
yeah. What's really funny is how he even thought in any way he would have been able to just take the Earth. Like, why do you think that? Like, even if, like, oh yeah, Broly was going to be able to, like, what? You just assume that you could just walk onto Earth, just chill, so I am your ruler now. Like, I wonder.
That would have been an interesting fight.
Yeah, like, which is kind of, actually what's really interesting is that we actually now only realize that they left so many people behind by accident because they couldn't have that many people in the film.
Right, exactly.
That we still would have had Tien, Yamcha. If everything had gone according to plan, right? Let's pretend according to plan. Like, we would have had Piccolo. I'd say
Krillin and Roshi probably would have still made it out, you know, in a spaceship too.
Maybe. Well, no, but let's not say that because then everyone could have gone on the spaceship. So let's just say they're all dead. Yeah.
Okay.
Hell, what's even fun? I think the funniest thing in the world, and I think it would have actually been a great practical joke. Like, I think of this as a complete practical joke on Paragus, you know, is where King Kai just says, you know, just sneaks everyone through, like how they did, you know, or in the Buu Saga. So basically, everyone that just died by Paragus, the second Paragus lands on the planet, they're all just there with halos.
Yeah.
Just really, like, just Paragus. Oh, hey, I thought you all were dead. What's with the halos, guys? You know?
It's funny because if everything
they just beat the hell out of them.
Yeah, if everything had gone according to plan and, you know, Paragus gets rid of Broly, he gets rid of Vegeta and Goku and everybody else, and the planet blows up and he comes to Earth, I mean, I know he's a Saiyan, so technically, you know, Tien and Yamcha probably would have gotten their asses kicked, but at the same time, I get the feeling Paragus really didn't train all that much, if you know what I mean.
Not just
I don't know why.
I agree. I don't think he trained, and I also feel as if, with Paragus, remember, you know, Saiyans back in the day, like, they were an issue for Yamcha and Tien. But Saiyans now, you know what I mean, like, now that they've gone through a lot, I mean, there was a point when Tien was subduing Cell, and not obviously, like, for long periods of time, you know, not like to kill him,
but he was holding him back.
Actually keeping him down.
Yeah. So I think that would have been an interesting fight. Like, you know, Tien and Yamcha team up to take out Paragus.
Yeah. I mean, that would have been very interesting. Hopefully, if a DBZ game has not made that yet, they can listen to us. Hell, we still have to send out the email about getting Nappa to have to be, when he becomes Super Saiyan, to have a golden afro. We still need to send out that email. So we should probably just send out another email with the same thing. Be like, also, make a story where Paragus comes to Earth and has to fight Yamcha and Tien. Thank you.
It's just like a DS.
Sadly, we're rounding down. We're getting to the end of our little episode. But hey, I mean, you know, what's funny is in the end, the planet still did explode. But Broly didn't die. Dun, dun, dun. Tune in next week when we talk about the second Broly movie. Broly 2. Okay. He's not dead. What's very interesting, I think, is the fact that they just, like, I wonder what they expect us to believe. Like, that Broly was traveling through space for a while, or that he just crashed there and then slept there for years. I mean, years.
Yeah.
Like, he was asleep for a while.
I think they make mention to why in the second one. I'm not sure.
Well,
my memory is a little bit fuzzy, but...
Well, hey, you're going to watch it for next week. But, I mean, no, they do make mention. It's very interesting how it's just like they show a flashback, because they always have to. They always make sure that, you know, there's flashbacks just in case people, forget things. But still, very interesting how it's just, you know. He basically found
Yeah.
another spacecraft, basically, I believe.
Yeah,
because
I know. Like, I think it was like the spaceship was hatching him up or something. And he
something
was
like
healing,
that. Yeah.
something like that.
Right. But the point is that he wasn't dead. And there was another movie made. It wasn't because of the money. No, the story naturally progressed to him not being dead. There was nothing involving ticket sales or merchandise sales or DVD sales. No, none of that. It was a simple fact that, Broly he clearly didn't die.
Yeah.
It was only the planet exploding, Goku punching him with a full fist of energy that blew him just, but again, he didn't die.
See, it's funny. Like, I feel like if Goku had punched him and, let loose a blast, and and if Broly just kind of like whited out,
right,
like that would have made it a little more believable. Like, yes, you didn't actually see him like physically blow up or anything like that, but no, he punches him and he explodes like a balloon. I mean, yes,
that's the thing. You can
blinds out and you see Goku falling, but it's like come on, guys, he blew up. He kind of blew up. Yeah, a lot.
That's the thing. That's why you can clearly see that they didn't want this to happen. Not they didn't want, but like, the writer for the movie, who has also been the same writer for all of the movies thus far, strangely enough, the writer being Takao Koyama. He did not want, he did not think that there was a sequel going to be made out of this. He just thought, just like every year, we make a DVD movie, and that's that. And clearly, I mean, they gave a lot of budget to this, but probably because all they had to say to the people making this was, it's like, why do you want a longer running time with more of a budget? The words Super Saiyan are in this movie, sir. Oh, well, I mean, sure. Like the second Super Saiyans are involved, it's just, they just sit there and it's like, how much money do you want?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I honestly thought like an evil Super Saiyan was a cool idea. I mean,
It really was. But I'm saying like that's definitely why they got most of their backing, I would feel.
Yeah.
And why it kept on going for so long.
Yeah, the movies aren't, a continuing story or canon or anything like that anyway, so they do have the liberty to do whatever the hell they want, but I don't know. Still, at the same time, it was just like, okay.
Well, no, I mean, we'll talk about this more next week and then the week after as we do, the second movie next week and the third movie the week after. But I mean, I know. Honestly, I'll be honest with you. They don't get better as they go along, but I think upon rewatching, you'll see that they aren't the worst thing ever. You just don't like the basic premise, which I agree with.
No, yeah. Oh,
but I agree with, the premise. I understand why it's bad. But hey, anyway, before we sign out, definitely like us on our Facebook page, Those Guys on the Radio, if you're looking at the URL or searching up Those Guys. We, make posts almost every day about the shows that we're doing on, again, almost every day. We'll do DBZ shows. We'll do wrestling shows. And, also, of course, every week, Tristan, Walter, and I do DBZ podcasts. Just last week, we also did the first Bleach movie as well. I forget what it's called, but I heard it's really good. Yeah. And, I think we covered about everything. And,
I think so.
So, you like the movie? What would you give it?
Probably give it about a 6 or 7.
9.
Yeah.
Just for once, just 9. The only thing I think, 9.
I mean, just the fact that I was cool with everything else in the movie, except for Paragus thinking the comet's going to kill everyone, and why Broly hates Goku. I mean, yes, okay, I think I heard a theory about, someone saying, well, if you heard the person crying next to you for, hours on end, and if you, grew up, getting stabbed and floating through space, and you just close your eyes for a minute just to feel better about yourself, just to let everything go, all you hear is that baby crying again. Yeah, I guess you'd kind of hate the guy next to you, too.
Yeah, I feel like it's a bit more subconscious, though. I agree.
Yeah.
I feel like that, he didn't really see so much of the actual picture, the baby crying. That was just for us. He just hears this crying that he can't get away from. Then he goes, Wait,
Yeah.
that's the source of it.
That's
Murder!
this guy over there.
Of course, everything else in his life didn't help, so,
Yeah.
I mean, but yeah. I admit, though, yeah, as a kid, I was like, that's why he hates him? Just blow things up.
Like,
I was, I mean,
only
you're
now
young.
does it start to really make sense.
Fair enough. Yeah, only now when you kind of get older. So anyway, yeah, so we would like to thank you guys for listening to those guys. I'm here with a 9, 8.5. You're here with a 6 or a 7.
Yeah.
And, yeah, good movie, though, I would like to say. Let's, wait till next week when the movie isn't so good. It's good, but it's not as good. It's still good. Still good. Just not as good. Thank you guys for listening to those guys.